What effrontery! Effrontery!
The sound cuts through marble like a gunshot. Skin against skin. Hard. Deliberate. Vicious. Naira's head snaps to the side, her cheek already burning red. She stumbles back one step, her navy heel catching on polished stone. The leather bag slips down her shoulder, but she doesn't reach for it. She doesn't scream. Doesn't gasp. She just stands there. The Virelian Grand Lobby freezes. 40 people. Maybe 50. All of them staring. A woman in pearls drops her coffee cup. The porcelain shatters across the floor, but nobody looks down. A businessman's phone slips from his hand, camera still recording. The chandeliers overhead sway slightly, their crystals tinkling like nervous laughter. Drexley Thorne's hand is still raised. His face is twisted into something ugly. Something that looks like victory. "You people," he says, his voice echoing off the vaulted ceilings, "think you can waste my time?" Naira touches her cheek. Her fingers come away clean. No blood. Just heat. Just the sting of humiliation in front of strangers. Her dark eyes move slowly across the lobby. She sees the guests. The staff in their pressed uniforms. The security guards standing near the elevators with their hands hovering near their radios. Nobody moves. "Hi friend, before we continue the story, kindly tell us where are you watching from? And subscribe for you to get more, and I have something new for you tomorrow. Stay tuned. Thanks, let's continue." Drexley lowers his hand. He smooths down his suit jacket like he's just finished a business transaction. His cologne is expensive. Overpowering. The kind that announces wealth before words do. He turns to the crowd, performing now, feeding off their shock. "Does anyone here know who I am?" His voice booms. "Drexley Thorne. I own half of Midtown. I have meetings with people who actually matter. And this woman," he waves his hand at Naira like she's garbage on the sidewalk. "This woman thinks she can stand in my way." A young clerk behind the front desk swallows hard. His name tag reads Marcus. His fingers hover over his keyboard, but he doesn't type anything. Naira hasn't moved. She's still standing in the same spot, one hand resting lightly against her reddened cheek. Her breathing is steady. Controlled. Her eyes are doing something strange though. They're not filled with tears. They're not wide with fear. They're calculating. Drexley takes a step closer. He's a big man. 6'3". Broad shoulders. The kind of size that's used to making people move. "You need to learn your place," he says quietly. Just to her. But in the silence of the lobby, everyone hears it. Naira drops her hand from her face. She meets his eyes. "And where," she asks, her voice calm, almost soft, "do you think that is?" Something flickers across Drexley's face. Confusion. Then irritation. Then rage. "Get her out of here," he snaps, turning to the security guards. Two men in dark suits approach. Their steps are hesitant. One of them, older, with gray at his temples, looks at Naira with something that might be recognition. But it passes. He reaches for her arm. "Ma'am," he says, his voice apologetic but firm. "You need to come with us." Naira doesn't resist. She lets him take her arm. The leather of his glove is warm against her skin. She lets him guide her toward the side exit, away from the main doors, away from the watching crowd. A woman with a designer handbag lifts her phone. The flash goes off. Then another. And another. Phones everywhere now. Recording. Posting. Sharing. Drexley watches Naira being led away. He smiles. It's the kind of smile that says he's won. That says he always wins. He turns back to the front desk, already dismissing her from his mind. Now, he says to Marcus, who's still frozen behind the counter. About my reservation. Marcus nods quickly. Too quickly. His hands shake as he types. But across the lobby, near the side exit, Naira stops walking. The security guard's grip loosens slightly, surprised. She turns her head, just enough to look back at Drexley. Her face is unreadable. No anger. No fear. Just cold, patient intelligence. And then she does something nobody expects. She checks her watch. 9:42 a.m. Her lips move, but no sound comes out. She's counting something. Timing something. The security guard tugs gently on her arm. Ma'am, please. Naira turns back around. She walks with him toward the exit. Her heels click against the marble in perfect rhythm. Steady. Unhurried. Behind her, Drexley is laughing with an investor who just walked in. Loud. Performative. The kind of laugh that demands attention. The crowd starts to move again. Conversations resume. Phones are pocketed. The woman with the pearls picks up pieces of her broken cup. Life continues. But something has shifted. Something small. Something most people miss. Marcus, the young clerk, is staring at his computer screen. His face has gone pale. His supervisor, a middle-aged man with thinning hair and a permanent frown, leans over his shoulder. What's wrong? The supervisor asks. Marcus doesn't answer. He's reading something. His eyes are moving fast across the screen. Too fast. The supervisor squints at the monitor. Then his face changes too. That's impossible, he whispers. Near the side exit, Naira reaches into her bag. Her fingers close around something small. Something solid. Something that feels like power. The security guard opens the door for her. Bright morning light floods in from outside. The noise of New York City rushes in with it. Horns. Voices. The rumble of buses. Naira steps toward the threshold. Then stops. She turns back one more time. Her eyes find Drexley across the lobby. He's not looking at her. He's signing something. Documents spread across a table. His pen moves with arrogant confidence. Naira's hand emerges from her bag. She's holding a black card. Not credit card plastic. Something denser. Heavier. The light catches it strangely, like it's absorbing rather than reflecting. The security guard sees it. His grip on her arm loosens completely. Ma'am, he says, his voice different now. Uncertain. What is that? Naira doesn't answer him. She walks back into the lobby. The guard doesn't stop her. She walks slowly. Deliberately. Her heels announcing each step. People notice. Conversations pause. Heads turn. She reaches the front desk. Marcus looks up. His eyes go wide. Naira places the black card on the marble counter. It makes a soft sound. Almost like a key turning in a lock. Call corporate, she says. Her voice is quiet but it cuts through every other sound in that lobby. Tell them Project Verelion Alpha has been activated. Marcus stares at the card. Then at her. Then back at the card. The supervisor pushes forward. Ma'am, I don't know what kind of game you're playing, but... A phone rings. Not a cell phone. The desk phone. The one that only rings for emergencies. For corporate. For things that matter. The supervisor's hand reaches for it automatically. He picks it up. Verelion Grand, this is. He stops. His face drains of color. He's listening to something. Something that makes his hand shake. Another phone rings. Marcus's computer chimes. An urgent alert. Red text flashing across the screen. Then another desk phone. And another. All across the lobby, screens start lighting up. The display behind the concierge desk. The tablet at the business center. The phone in the manager's office upstairs. Drexley is still signing his documents. He hasn't noticed yet. He's too busy winning. But the supervisor has noticed. He's staring at Naira now like he's seeing a ghost. Like he's seeing something that shouldn't exist. "Ms. Vallon," he whispers. "We didn't know you were." Naira holds up one hand. Silence. She looks at her watch again. 9:47 a.m. 5 minutes since the slap. 6 minutes until everything changes. What did that black card just unlock? The manager's tablet hits the marble floor. It doesn't shatter. It just spins once, twice, the screen still glowing with red emergency alerts. The sound makes everyone turn. Guests near the elevator. The concierge sorting mail. The businessman who dropped his phone earlier. And Drexley. He looks up from his documents, annoyed. His pen pauses mid-signature. What now? The supervisor is backing away from Naira like she's radioactive. His mouth opens but nothing comes out. Marcus, the young clerk, is frozen behind the counter, his eyes darting between his computer screen and the woman standing calmly in front of him. Naira hasn't moved. The black card still sits on the counter between her fingers and Marcus's keyboard. The overhead lights catch it at strange angles. It looks heavy. Important. Like it was made for one purpose and one purpose only. "Sir," the supervisor finally manages, his voice cracking. He's looking at Drexley but pointing at Naira. "Sir, I think we have a situation." Drexley stands. His chair scrapes loudly against the floor. He's irritated now. Really irritated. The kind of irritation that comes from people interrupting important things. He walks toward the front desk, his expensive shoes clicking against marble. What kind of situation? He doesn't look at Naira. She's already dismissed in his mind. Already erased. "I have investors waiting. I have contracts to sign. What could possibly be more important than?" A phone rings. Not the desk phone this time. His phone. The one in his jacket pocket. The one that only rings for his assistant. For urgent matters. For money moving or deals closing. He ignores it. Well. The supervisor's mouth opens and closes like a fish drowning in air. He's trying to speak but the words won't form. His eyes keep going back to the black card on the counter. Marcus finds his voice first. "Mr. Thorne, I think you should." "I don't care what you think," Drexley snaps. He's standing at the desk now, close enough to smell Naira's perfume. Something subtle. Expensive. Not trying too hard. He looks at her for the first time since the slap. Really looks at her. "You're still here." Naira meets his eyes. She doesn't blink. Doesn't flinch. "I never left." Security. Drexley's voice echoes off the vaulted ceiling. "I thought I told you to remove this woman." The two guards near the elevator don't move. The older one, the one with gray in his hair, is staring at his radio. The younger one is looking at Naira like he's trying to solve a puzzle with missing pieces. Drexley's phone rings again. He yanks it out of his pocket, ready to silence it, but the name on the screen makes him pause. His assistant. Calling back immediately. She never does that unless. He answers. This better be important. Whatever she says makes his face change. Just slightly. A tightening around the eyes. a muscle in his jaw working. What do you mean the transfer didn't clear? His voice drops lower. Dangerous. I authorized it myself. 10 million. It should have. He stops. Listens. His eyes narrow. Try again, he says. Then hangs up. He turns back to Naira. She hasn't moved. The black card is still on the counter. She's still standing in the same spot, her posture relaxed, her face calm. Like she's waiting for something. Like she has all the time in the world. Who are you? Drexley asks. It's not really a question. It's an accusation. I told you already, Naira says softly. I'm someone who knows where we are. Behind the desk, Marcus's computer chimes again. Then again. Rapid-fire alerts flooding his screen. He's reading them, his eyes moving faster and faster. Oh my God, he whispers. Oh my God, this can't be. What? The supervisor demands. What is it? Marcus doesn't answer. He's too busy staring at Naira. The lobby is getting quieter. Guests are noticing something is wrong. The energy has shifted. The woman with the designer handbag who filmed earlier is holding her phone up again. Filming. Other phones come out. Slowly. Curious. Hungry for drama. Drexley's phone rings a third time. He looks at the screen. His jaw clenches. He answers without greeting. What? This time, whatever his assistant says makes him go still. Completely still. The kind of stillness that comes before violence. Or flight. All of them, he asks quietly. Every single transaction. He listens. His free hand forms a fist at his side. That's impossible, he says. Check again. There must be a system error. A bank error. Something. He hangs up. His eyes find the supervisor. Is your system down? The supervisor opens his mouth. Closes it. Looks at Marcus. No sir, Marcus says. His voice is shaking. Everything is operational. Actually, everything is working perfectly. That's the problem. What problem? Drexley's voice is rising now. Losing its polish. What the hell are you talking about? Naira lifts one finger. Just one. The gesture is small but everyone notices. Everyone stops. Even Drexley. You wanted to know who I am, she says. Her voice is still soft. Still calm. But there's something underneath it now. Something cold and sharp. Would you like me to tell you? Or would you prefer to figure it out yourself? Drexley stares at her. Really stares. His mind is working. Processing. Trying to connect dots that don't want to connect. The woman he slapped. The system errors. The black card. The way the staff is looking at her like she's. No. That's impossible. You're nobody, he says. But there's less confidence in his voice now. Less certainty. You're some crazy woman trying to. A new sound cuts him off. Not a phone this time. The elevator. Dinging. Opening. A man steps out. Tall. Black suit. No tie. Wire in his ear. He scans the lobby in 2 seconds flat, his eyes landing on Naira immediately. He walks straight toward her. Purposeful. Professional. 3 more men exit behind him. Same suits. Same wires. Same purpose. The guests are definitely filming now. Phones everywhere. The energy in the lobby has shifted from uncomfortable to electric. The first man reaches Naira. He doesn't touch her. Just stands beside her, facing outward. Creating space. Creating boundary. Ms. Vallon, he says quietly. We received the alert. Ms. Vallon. The name hangs in the air like smoke. Like poison. The supervisor goes completely white. The tablet he dropped earlier is still spinning on the floor, its screen cycling through red alerts. He's not looking at it anymore. He's looking at Naira. Really looking. Seeing her for the first time. No, he whispers. No, that's not possible. You're not. Marcus interrupts. His voice is small. Broken. She is. I'm looking at the file right now. The ownership structure. The acquisition history. The authorization codes. It's all here. He can't finish the sentence. Drexley is still trying to process. His phone rings again. He ignores it. What ownership structure? What are you talking about? One of the security guards, the younger one, drops his radio. It clatters against the floor. Oh no, he says. Oh no, oh no, oh no. The older guard has gone pale. He's looking at Naira with dawning horror. Recognition. Understanding. Ma'am, he says. Ma'am, I didn't know. I swear, I didn't. Naira holds up that single finger again. Silence. She picks up the black card from the counter. Slips it back into her bag. The movement is casual. Easy. Like she's picking up a receipt. You asked who I am, she says to Drexley. Let me show you instead. She nods to one of the men in suits. He pulls out a tablet. Touches the screen twice. Then holds it up. The large display screen behind the concierge desk flickers. Then changes. Corporate logos appear. Legal documents. Property deeds. Acquisition records. And at the top of every single document, the same name. Naira Vallon. CEO and majority owner. Verelian Hospitality Group. 14 billion in assets. 8 cities. 43 properties. Including the one they're standing in right now. What will Drexley do now that he knows the truth? Drexley's eyes move across the screen. Then back to Naira. Then back to the screen. The documents keep scrolling. Property after property. Hotel after hotel. San Francisco. Miami. Dallas. Seattle. Boston. Los Angeles. Every acquisition dated and verified. Every signature the same. Clean. Legal. Undeniable. His mouth opens. Nothing comes out. The lobby has gone completely silent. Even the ambient music has stopped. Somewhere, someone killed the sound system. Now there's just breathing. Just the hum of electronics. Just the weight of truth settling like dust after an explosion. Naira watches Drexley's face change. It's subtle. The way a building cracks before it falls. First confusion. Then denial. Then understanding. Then something that looks almost like fear. That's fake, he says. But his voice is weak. Uncertain. That has to be fake. I would know if. If what? Naira interrupts gently. If a woman owned the place you're trying to negotiate with? If someone you slapped controlled every door, every contract, every single dollar that moves through this building? She tilts her head slightly. You would know because people like me announce ourselves. Because we need you to see us coming. The woman with the designer handbag gasps. Her phone is still up, still recording. The video is probably already uploading. Already viral. Already spreading across platforms like wildfire. Marcus is shaking his head behind the counter. I didn't know, he's saying to nobody in particular. Nobody told us. There's no photo in the system. No public profile. Just the name. He stops. Stares at Naira. You did that on purpose. You stayed invisible. Naira doesn't respond. She's still watching Drexley. Studying him. The way a scientist studies something under glass. Why? Drexley finally asks. It's the first honest question he's asked. Why hide? Because power doesn't need to announce itself, Naira says simply. It just is. And the moment you need people to know you have it, you've already lost it. The supervisor has backed away from the desk completely. He's pressed against the wall near the mail slots, his face the color of old paper. Ms. Vallon, he starts. I apologize. I had no idea. We thought you were just. Just what? Naira asks. Her voice is still soft. Still calm. But there's an edge now. Thin and sharp. Just some woman taking up space. Just someone who could be removed when convenient. Just nobody. The supervisor's mouth works but no sound comes out. Naira turns to Marcus. You tried to help. When she gestures at Drexley without looking at him. When he demanded I be removed, you hesitated. I saw it. Marcus nods quickly. Too quickly. I thought something was wrong. The way you spoke. The way you carried yourself. I've worked here 3 years and I've never seen anyone stand like that after being, he stops. Can't say it. Can't say the word. After being slapped, Naira finishes for him. You can say it. That's what happened. In front of 40 witnesses. On camera. In my own building. Drexley's phone rings again. He looks at it like it's a snake. His assistant's name flashing on the screen. He doesn't answer. You should get that, Naira says. I imagine she has news for you. Drexley's hand trembles slightly as he raises the phone. He answers. What? Even from several feet away, Naira can hear the panic in his assistant's voice. She's speaking fast. Too fast. Words tumbling over each other. Drexley's face goes from pale to gray. How many, he asks. Listens. All of them. Every property. Listens more. They can't do that. We have contracts. We have. He stops. Looks at Naira. Really looks. Like he's finally seeing something that was there all along. Virelian, he says slowly. The partnership we were finalizing. The 9-figure deal. That was with, he can't finish. Naira just watches him. Waiting. Elf, Naira says simply. It just is. And the moment you need people to know you have it, you've already lost it. The supervisor has backed away from the desk completely. He's pressed against the wall near the mail slots, his face the color of old paper. Ms. Vallon, he starts. I apologize. I had no idea. We thought you were just. Just what? Naira asks. Her voice is still soft. Still calm. You, he whispers. We were negotiating with you. Your company. Your properties. The whole time, we were, understanding crashes over him like a wave. Oh God. Oh God is right, says a new voice. Everyone turns. A woman in a sharp gray suit is walking across the lobby. Her heels click with authority. Her hair is pulled back so tight it looks painful. She's carrying a briefcase that probably costs more than Marcus makes in a month. She walks straight to Naira. Nods once. Ms. Vallon. We got your alert. Legal is already mobilizing. Thank you, Kendra, Naira says. Kendra turns to face Drexley. Her expression is ice. Mr. Thorne. I'm Kendra Baptiste, Chief Legal Officer for Verelian Hospitality Group. I'm here to inform you that as of, she checks her watch. 9:51 a.m., all negotiations between your investment firm and our properties are terminated. All contracts are voided. All pending deals are dead. Drexley takes a step back. Then another. You can't do that. We have signed agreements. We have. You have nothing, Kendra interrupts. Every single contract you signed includes a morality clause. Every partnership agreement includes provisions for conduct unbecoming. And every negotiation requires mutual good faith. You violated all three when you put your hands on our CEO. She pauses. Lets that sink in. In her own building. On camera. In front of witnesses. The phones are everywhere now. The lobby has transformed into a studio. Everyone filming. Everyone capturing. The story is already out there. Already spreading. Already becoming the thing that will define Drexley Thorne forever. I'll sue, Drexley says. But there's no strength behind it. No conviction. I'll take this to court. I'll. Please do, Kendra says. She almost smiles. I would love to explain to a judge why my client deserved to be assaulted in her own place of business. I'm sure that will go well for you. Drexley looks around the lobby. Looking for allies. For support. For anyone who will meet his eyes. Nobody does. The guests are staring at their phones. The staff is staring at the floor. Even his investor, the one he was laughing with earlier, has moved away. Creating distance. Protecting himself from the fallout. This is insane, Drexley says. Over one mistake. One moment. Naira speaks for the first time in minutes. Her voice cuts through his excuses like a blade through paper. Is that what you call it? A moment? She takes one step toward him. Just one. You didn't just hit me. You humiliated me. You tried to have me removed like trash. You did it because you thought I was nobody. Because you thought power meant you could do whatever you wanted to whoever you wanted whenever you wanted. She takes another step. Drexley backs up. You thought wrong, Naira continues. And now you're going to learn what actual power looks like. Not the loud kind. Not the kind that needs to announce itself. The quiet kind. The kind that moves systems. The kind that ends careers. Behind her, Kendra pulls out her phone. Ms. Vallon, we're getting calls from every major news outlet. They've seen the videos. They want statements. Tell them the truth, Naira says without turning around. Tell them exactly what happened. Drexley's phone buzzes. Then again. Then again. Text messages flooding in. He looks at the screen. His face goes from gray to green. My board is calling an emergency meeting, he whispers. They've seen the video. There, he looks up at Naira. Please. This will ruin me. My reputation. My career. Everything I've built. Good, Naira says simply. The elevator dings. 3 more people step out. 2 men in suits. 1 woman with a camera. Press credentials hanging from lanyards around their necks. How far will Naira take this? The journalists move fast. Practiced. Efficient. Camera up. Lights on. The woman with the press credentials doesn't even introduce herself. She just starts talking. We're live from the Verelian Grand in Midtown where billionaire investor Drexley Thorne allegedly assaulted the owner of. Not allegedly, Naira interrupts. Her voice is calm. Clear. He did assault me. You can watch it happen. Half the people in this lobby filmed it. The journalist's eyes go wide. She adjusts her grip on the microphone. Ms. Valen, can you confirm you're the CEO of Verelian Hospitality Group? I can. And Mr. Thorne struck you without provocation? He did. Why? Naira looks at Drexley. He's standing near the windows now, trapped between the journalists, his investor who's pretending not to know him, and the staff who are watching everything fall apart in real time. Because I was in his way, Naira says. Because I wasn't moving fast enough. Because in his world, people like me exist to serve people like him. And when we don't, when we dare to take up space, when we dare to simply exist, she pauses. Lets the silence build. We get reminded of our place. The camera swings to Drexley. He holds up his hands. That's not what happened. I was frustrated. There was a miscommunication. She was blocking the counter and I. You what? The journalist asks. You hit her. Is that standard practice when you're frustrated? Drexley's lawyer instincts kick in. No comment. Too late for that, Kendra says from behind Naira. She's holding her own phone up now. We have 17 different angles of the assault. We have audio of your threats. We have testimony from staff members who heard you order our CEO removed from her own property. She smiles. It doesn't reach her eyes. We have everything. The supervisor near the mail slots makes a small sound. Almost like a whimper. He's realizing something. They all are. Everyone who stood by. Everyone who followed Drexley's orders. Everyone who put their hands on Naira or stood silent while it happened. They're all complicit. Ms. Valen, Marcus says from behind the counter. His voice is shaking. I'm sorry. I should have known. I should have checked. I should have. You should have stopped him, Naira says. Not angry. Just factual. The moment his hand moved, you should have intervened. Every person in this lobby should have intervened. But you didn't. Because he's rich. Because he's powerful. Because people like him don't face consequences. She turns to face the camera fully now. Speaking directly to it. Speaking to everyone who will watch this video later. This isn't just about one man hitting one woman, she says. This is about a system that protects people like him. That enables them. That looks the other way because money matters more than dignity. More than safety. More than basic human respect. The woman with the designer handbag is crying now. Quiet tears running down her face. She filmed the whole thing. Uploaded it. Shared it. And now she's realizing she captured something bigger than she understood. Drexley's phone won't stop buzzing. Text after text after text. He's staring at the screen like it's betraying him. My investors are pulling out, he says to nobody in particular. 3 deals just collapsed. The partnership with, he stops. Looks at Naira. You did this. You made calls. You sabotaged. I didn't have to make any calls, Naira interrupts. You did this yourself. The moment you decided I was nobody. The moment you decided your frustration mattered more than my safety. The moment you raised your hand. She pauses. I didn't sabotage anything. I just stopped protecting you. Protecting me? Drexley's voice rises. From what? From yourself, Naira says simply. Do you know how many complaints we've received about you over the years? How many staff members reported your behavior? How many women said you made them uncomfortable? How many people warned us you were a liability? She tilts her head. I buried all of it. Because business is business. Because deals matter. Because I thought you could be managed. The lobby is dead silent now. Even the journalists have stopped moving. But then you hit me, Naira continues. And I realized something. I've been enabling people like you my entire career. Staying quiet. Staying invisible. Letting bad men do bad things because it was easier than fighting. Because I thought that's how you survive in this world. She looks directly at him. I was wrong. Kendra steps forward. Ms. Vallon, we should. No, Naira says. Not yet. She turns to the supervisor. The man who ordered her removed. The man who sided with Drexley without question. What's your name? The supervisor swallows hard. Brian. Brian Hendricks. How long have you worked here, Brian? 12 years. And in those 12 years, how many times have you seen someone get hit in this lobby? Brian's mouth opens. Closes. This is the first. Wrong, Naira interrupts. 3 times in the past 18 months alone. A housekeeper slapped by a drunk guest. A bellhop shoved by an angry businessman. A concierge grabbed by someone who didn't like his tone. You filed reports. You sent them up the chain. You know it happened. Brian goes pale. Yes. But those were different? Naira asks. Because they were staff? Because they weren't the CEO? Because their pain didn't matter as much? Silence. You're fired, Naira says quietly. Effective immediately. Brian's knees almost buckle. Please. Ms. Vallon, please. I have a family. I have a mortgage. I didn't know it was you. I swear I didn't. That's the problem, Naira says. It shouldn't matter that it was me. It should matter that it was anyone. But you only care now because you realize I have power. Because you realize I can hurt you. That's not respect. That's fear. And I don't want people working for me who only act right when they're afraid. She turns to the security guards. Both of them. The older one with gray hair. The younger one who dropped his radio. You put your hands on me, she says. You escorted me toward an exit. You followed orders without question. Without checking. Without even asking if I belonged here. The older guard is shaking. Actually shaking. MS. Vallon, I'm sorry. I thought. You thought I looked like someone who could be removed, Naira finishes. Someone who didn't belong in a place this nice. Someone who couldn't possibly matter. She looks at both of them. You're fired too. The younger guard starts crying. Not loud. Just quiet tears streaming down his face. This job is all I have, he whispers. Please. I'll do anything. You'll find another job, Naira says. And maybe next time, you'll remember this moment. Maybe you'll think twice before putting your hands on someone just because someone told you to. Kendra leans close to Naira. We should consider the optics here. Mass terminations might. Might what? Naira asks. Might make me look harsh. Might make people think I'm overreacting. She looks around the lobby. At all the faces watching. At all the phones recording. I don't care about optics anymore. I care about accountability. What happens to Drexley next will change everything. The elevator dings again. This time, 2 NYPD officers step out. They scan the lobby the way cops do. Looking for threats. Looking for problems. Looking for whoever called them here. Drexley sees them and something like relief crosses his face. He straightens. Composes himself. Puts on the version of himself that works on authority figures. Rich. Reasonable. Respectable. Officers, he says, his voice smooth again. Thank God you're here. This woman has been. Sir, we're going to need you to step aside, the first officer says. She's black. 30s. Her name tag reads Samara. She's not looking at Naira. She's looking at her phone. At the videos. At the evidence that's already everywhere. The second officer, younger, white, baby-faced, is also scrolling. His expression gets darker with each swipe. I'm the one who needs protection here, Drexley insists. He gestures at Naira. She's making threats. She's destroying my business relationships. She's the victim of assault, Officer Samara interrupts. She finally looks up from her phone. Looks at Drexley like he's something she scraped off her shoe. We've seen the videos. Multiple angles. Clear footage. You struck her without provocation. Drexley's lawyer face cracks. That's not assault. That was a misunderstanding. A moment of frustration. She'll tell you. Won't you? He looks at Naira. Actually pleading now. Tell them it was a misunderstanding. Naira doesn't move. Doesn't speak. Just watches him drown. Ms. Vallon? Officer Samara asks. Do you want to press charges? The lobby holds its breath. The cameras are rolling. The phones are recording. This moment will be replayed. Analyzed. Debated. Whatever Naira says next will define everything. She looks at Drexley. Really looks. Sees him for what he is. Not a titan. Not a mogul. Just a man who never learned he couldn't put his hands on people. Who never faced real consequences. Who built his empire on the backs of people too afraid to stop him. Yes, Naira says. I want to press charges. Drexley's face collapses. You're making a mistake. Do you have any idea what this will do to you? Naira interrupts. Yes. Officer Samara nods to her partner. They move toward Drexley. Professional. Practiced. The younger officer is already pulling out handcuffs. Sir, you're under arrest for assault, he says. You have the right to remain silent. This is insane. Drexley backs away. Looking for exits. Looking for support. His investor has already disappeared. Probably in a car already. Probably calling his PR team. Putting out statements about how they barely knew each other. How it was just business. How shocked he is by this behavior. Sir, I need you to turn around, the officer says. His voice is harder now. Don't make this more difficult than it needs to be. Drexley looks at Naira one more time. You're going to regret this. My lawyers will destroy you. I'll sue you for everything. You'll what? Naira asks. Hit me again. Threaten me again. Try to have me removed from another building I own. She takes one step closer. Just one. You're done, Drexley. Not because I destroyed you. Because you destroyed yourself. I'm just making sure everyone sees it. The handcuffs click shut around his wrists. The sound echoes through the lobby like a door slamming. Final. Irreversible. Officer Samara reads him his rights while her partner guides him toward the elevator. Guests step back, creating a path. Phones capture every second. The man who walked in like he owned the world is leaving in handcuffs. Drexley tries one more time. This isn't over. You haven't won. There are lawyers. There are appeals. There are. The elevator doors close. Cutting off his words. Cutting off his threats. Cutting off everything he thought he was. Silence fills the lobby. Heavy. Complete. The kind of silence that comes after something fundamental has shifted. Naira stands perfectly still. Her face shows nothing. No triumph. No satisfaction. Just the quiet certainty of someone who knows they did what needed to be done. Kendra moves beside her. The press wants a statement. Your board wants to convene. Legal wants to brief you on next steps. Later, Naira says. Marcus is still behind the counter. His hands are shaking. Other staff members are scattered around the lobby. Some crying. Some in shock. All of them waiting to see what happens next. Naira turns to face them. All of them. Every person who works in this building. Every person who watched. Every person who chose a side today. This hotel employed 37 people this morning, she says. Her voice carries perfectly in the silence. By tomorrow, it will employ 0. Gasps. Whispers. Someone drops something. The sound of it hitting marble echoes. You can't do that, Brian says. He's still pressed against the wall. Still desperate. The hotel will collapse. You'll lose. I'll lose nothing, Naira interrupts. Buildings don't run on silence. They run on integrity. And every person who worked here today chose silence over action. She pauses. Let's that land. I'm starting over. With people who understand what those words mean. The journalist is still recording. Still capturing everything. This moment will play on every news channel. Will trend on every platform. Will become the story people tell about what happens when power finally faces consequences. Marcus finds his voice. Ms. Vallon. I tried to help. I hesitated. Doesn't that count for something? Naira looks at him. Really looks. Sees the fear. The hope. The desperate need for redemption. Hesitation isn't action, she says quietly. And trying isn't doing. You saw him hit me. You saw him threaten me. You saw everything. And you still didn't stop it. She shakes her head. That's not good enough anymore. The lobby empties slowly. Staff members removing their name tags. Placing them on the counter. Walking out into the New York morning with nothing but shame and severance packages. The guests check out early. Nobody wants to stay in a building where everything just fell apart. Nobody wants to be associated with what happened here. Within an hour, the Verelian Grand is nearly empty. Just Naira. Kendra. The journalist who's still filming. And Marcus, who hasn't left yet. Who's standing behind an empty counter in an empty lobby that used to be his whole world. Why did you stay invisible for so long, he asks quietly. If you had this much power, why not use it sooner? Naira considers the question. Really considers it. Because I thought staying quiet kept me safe, she says finally. I thought if I didn't make waves, if I didn't challenge the system, if I just built my empire in silence, she stops. I thought that was strength. I was wrong. What changed? Marcus asks. He hit me, Naira says simply. And I realized that all my power, all my wealth, all my careful planning, none of it protected me from a man who thought I was nobody. So what was the point of hiding? What was the point of all that power if I couldn't use it to change things? She looks around the empty lobby. At the marble floors. At the crystal chandeliers. At the building she built in secret and is now tearing down in public. Power that can't be seen can't change anything, she says. I forgot that. But I won't forget it again. What will rise from the ashes of the Verelian Grand? The handcuffs click shut around Drexley's wrists. The sound echoes through the lobby like a judge's gavel. Final. Absolute. He's still talking, still threatening lawsuits and consequences, but his voice has lost its power. Now he just sounds desperate. Officer Samara reads him his rights while her partner guides him toward the elevator. Guests step back, creating a path. Everyone's filming. The footage will be everywhere within the hour. Naira watches without expression. No satisfaction on her face. No anger. Just cold certainty that this needed to happen. Kendra moves beside her. The board is calling. They want a statement. Tell them I'll speak when I'm ready. Drexley stops at the elevator doors. Turns back. You think you've won? You think destroying me changes anything? His voice cracks. There are 1,000 more like me. This changes nothing. Naira meets his eyes. It changes you. The elevator doors close. He's gone. The lobby exhales. Conversations restart. Phones are pocketed. But nothing feels the same. Something fundamental has shifted. Marcus is still behind the counter, his face pale. What happens now? Naira turns to him. Studies him. Now everyone learns what happens when you choose sides. What did she mean by that? Naira walks to the center of the lobby. Every eye follows her. The journalists. The guests. The remaining staff who haven't been fired yet. They're all waiting. All watching. Just built my empire in silence, she stops. I thought that was strength. I was wrong. What changed? Marcus asks. He hit me, Naira says simply. And I realized that all my power, all my wealth, all my careful planning, none of it protected me from a man who thought I was nobody. So what was the point of hiding? What was the point of all that power if I couldn't use it to change things? She looks around the empty lobby. At the marble floors. At the crystal chandeliers. At the building she built in secret and is now tearing down in public. Power that can't be seen can't change anything, she says. I forgot that. But I won't forget it again. What will rise from the ashes of the Virelian Grand? The handcuffs click shut around Drexley's wrists. The sound echoes through the lobby like a judge's gavel. Final. Absolute. He's still talking, still threatening lawsuits and consequences, but his voice has lost its power. Now he just sounds desperate. Officer Samara reads him his rights while her partner guides him toward the elevator. Guests step back, creating a path. Everyone's filming. The footage will be everywhere within the hour. Naira watches without expression. No satisfaction on her face. No anger. She doesn't raise her voice. Doesn't need to. The silence carries her words perfectly. This hotel employed 37 people this morning, she says. By tomorrow, it will employ 0. Gasps. Whispers. Someone drops their phone. Brian, the supervisor, steps forward. You can't fire everyone. The hotel will collapse. You'll lose millions. I'll lose nothing, Naira says. Buildings don't run on complicity. They run on integrity. And every person who worked here today chose silence over action. Chose comfort over courage. She pauses. I'm starting over. With people who understand what those words mean. Kendra leans close. The financial impact will be worth it. The journalist moves closer. Ms. Vallon, are you saying you're shutting down the entire operation? For now. Until I rebuild it correctly. Marcus's hands are shaking. I have student loans. Rent. I can't just. You should have thought about that before you let him hurt me. Naira's voice is ice. Will anyone survive her purge? The hotel empties fast. Security badges hit the counter one by one. Staff members file out, some crying, some angry, all silent. The guests check out early, not wanting to be part of whatever comes next. Within an hour, the lobby is nearly empty. Just Naira, Kendra, and the camera crew still filming. "Do you have anything else to say?" the journalist asks. Naira looks directly at the camera. Power isn't loud. It doesn't need to announce itself. It doesn't need to threaten or intimidate or hurt people to prove it exists. She pauses. The people you ignore, the ones you think don't matter, they're often the ones holding every key. Remember that. The journalist nods. "Thank you for." "One more thing," Naira interrupts. "To everyone watching this who has ever been hit, dismissed, or made to feel small by someone who thought they were untouchable." Her voice drops lower. "You're not alone. And they're not untouchable. Not anymore." The camera keeps rolling. Capturing everything. This moment will live forever online. Will be shared. Quoted. Remembered. Kendra's phone buzzes. She checks it. Her face changes. "Naira. You need to see this. What could possibly happen next?" The screen Kendra holds up shows news alerts flooding in. Every major outlet is covering the story. But it's not just about Drexley anymore. Other women are coming forward. Employees from his other properties. Partners he worked with. People who stayed silent before because they thought no one would listen. Now they're talking. 17 complaints so far, Kendra says. All documented. All credible. His entire empire is collapsing. Naira reads the statements. Stories of harassment. Threats. Violence. All hidden. All protected. All enabled by people who looked the other way because money mattered more than people. "This is bigger than us," Kendra says quietly. "It always was." Naira hands the phone back. But someone had to start it. Outside, sirens wail. More press arriving. More cameras. More questions. The story has outgrown the building. Outgrown New York. It's everywhere now. Marcus appears at the entrance. He hasn't left yet. "Ms. Vallon? Can I ask you something?" Naira nods. "Why did you stay invisible for so long? If you had this much power, why not use it sooner?" "Because I thought staying quiet kept me safe," Naira says. "I was wrong. Silence doesn't protect anyone. It just protects the people who deserve it least." Is redemption possible for anyone? 3 months later, the Verelian Grand reopens. New staff. New policies. New culture. Every employee trained on respect, dignity, accountability. No exceptions. No looking away. Naira stands in the same lobby where Drexley hit her. The marble has been cleaned. The chandeliers replaced. But the memory remains. Permanent. Important. A young woman approaches. New hire. Nervous. "Ms. Vallon. I just wanted to say thank you. For what you did. For showing us that fighting back is possible." Naira smiles. Actually smiles. Fighting back is always possible. People just need to see someone do it first. The woman nods and walks away. Back to work. Back to building something better. Kendra appears. The quarterly reports are in. We're up 18% across all properties. Turns out people like staying at hotels that don't enable abuse. Imagine that, Naira says. Outside, New York continues. Busy. Loud. Relentless. But inside these walls, something has changed. Something small but growing. A belief that power doesn't require silence. That dignity matters more than comfort. That the people society overlooks are often the ones who can change everything. Naira checks her watch. Smiles. Gets back to work. The story doesn't end here. It never really ends. But it starts differently now. And that makes all the difference. If this story inspired you, subscribe and turn on notifications. More stories that matter are coming. Stories that prove the quietest voices often carry the loudest truth. Don't miss what happens next. The story has outgrown the building. Outgrown New York. It's everywhere now. Marcus appears at the entrance. He hasn't left yet. Ms. Vallon? Can I ask you something? Naira nods. Why did you stay invisible for so long? If you had this much power, why not use it sooner? Because I thought staying quiet kept me safe, Naira says. I was wrong. Silence doesn't protect anyone. It just protects the people who deserve it least. Is redemption possible for anyone? 3 months later, the Virelian Grand reopens. New staff. New policies. New culture. Every employee trained on respect, dignity, accountability. No exceptions. No looking away. Naira stands in the same lobby where Drexley hit her. The marble has been cleaned. The chandeliers replaced. But the memory remains. Permanent. Important. A young woman approaches. New hire. Nervous. Ms. Vallon. I just wanted to say thank you. For what you did. For showing us that fighting back is possible. Naira smiles. Actually smiles. Fighting back is always possible. People